On July 20th, 1969, the world watched in awe as Neil Armstrong took his first step on the moon. This moment was broadcast live to millions of viewers around the globe, uniting people in a shared experience of wonder and amazement. The sight of Armstrong descending the ladder of the lunar module and setting foot on the lunar surface was a defining moment in human history. This monumental achievement marked a turning point in human history. It was a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. The Apollo 11 mission was the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and innovation by thousands of scientists, engineers, and astronauts. The successful landing on the moon showcased the power of science, engineering, and human ambition. It was a moment of pride not just for the United States, but for all of humanity. The images of the American flag planted on the lunar surface and the lunar module standing proudly on the moon became iconic symbols of this incredible achievement. However, this triumph was soon met with skepticism from some corners of society. Despite the overwhelming evidence and the sheer scale of the Apollo program, conspiracy theories began to emerge, questioning the authenticity of the moon landing. These theories suggested that the entire event was staged by NASA and the US government. Conspiracy theories began to emerge, questioning the authenticity of the moon landing. Some claimed that the footage was filmed in a Hollywood studio, while others pointed to supposed anomalies in the photographs and videos. These theories, though lacking credible evidence, have persisted over the decades. They often tap into our sense of wonder and distrust of authority. The idea that such a monumental event could be faked is both intriguing and unsettling, leading some people to question the official narrative. In this essay, we will delve into some of the most prevalent moon landing conspiracy theories and debunk them using scientific reasoning and evidence. We will examine the claims made by skeptics and provide counter-arguments based on facts and research. We will explore the psychological and social factors that contribute to the persistence of these conspiracy theories. By understanding the motivations behind these beliefs, we can better address and counteract the spread of misinformation. In this essay, we will delve into some of the most prevalent moon landing conspiracy theories and debunk them using scientific reasoning and evidence. We will examine the claims made by skeptics and provide counter-arguments based on facts and research. Join us as we embark on this journey to uncover the truth behind one of the most significant achievements in human history and dispel the myths that have surrounded it for decades. One of the most common arguments put forth by conspiracy theorists is that the shadows in the moon landing photos are not parallel. They argue that this anomaly is evidence of a staged event, suggesting that multiple light sources were used to create the images, much like a movie set. This theory has been widely circulated and has convinced many people who are skeptical of the moon landing's authenticity. This, they claim, suggests multiple light sources, implying that the images were staged. The idea is that if the moon landing were real, the shadows should all be parallel because the sun is the only light source. However, this argument falls apart when we consider the principles of optics and perspective. However, this claim misunderstands basic optics and perspective. Shadows can appear non-parallel due to the uneven terrain and the angle at which the photograph is taken. This is a well-documented phenomenon that can be observed in various settings, not just on the moon. On Earth, we are accustomed to seeing parallel shadows because the sun is so far away that its light rays appear parallel. This is especially noticeable during sunrise and sunset when shadows are long and clearly defined. However, even on Earth, shadows can appear to diverge or converge depending on the landscape and the observer's viewpoint. On the moon, the terrain is uneven, and the perspective from which the photos were taken creates the illusion of non-parallel shadows. The moon's surface is filled with craters, rocks, and varying elevations, all of which can affect how shadows are cast and perceived. This phenomenon can be easily replicated here on Earth. By setting up a simple experiment, we can demonstrate how shadows behave on uneven surfaces and how perspective can alter their appearance. Stand two objects a distance apart on an uneven surface and observe their shadows at different angles. You will notice that the shadows do not always appear parallel, even though they are cast by the same light source. You'll notice that the shadows appear to converge or diverge depending on your viewpoint. This simple experiment helps to debunk the shadow argument by showing that non-parallel shadows are a natural occurrence, influenced by terrain and perspective, rather than evidence of a staged event. Another persistent claim is that the Apollo astronauts could not have survived the radiation from Earth's Van Allen belts. The Van Allen belts are two regions of intense radiation that surround our planet. It's true that prolonged exposure to such radiation levels would be lethal. However, the Apollo missions were carefully designed to minimize the astronauts' exposure. The spacecraft traveled through the belts at high speeds, reducing the time spent within the most intense radiation zones. Furthermore, the spacecraft and astronauts' suits provided shielding against radiation. The astronauts' radiation exposure during the missions was well within acceptable limits. The absence of stars in the moon landing photographs is another point of contention for conspiracy theorists. They often point to the seemingly empty sky in these images as evidence that the landings were staged. According to them, if the landings were real, the stars should be visible in the background, twinkling brightly against the dark lunar sky. They argue that the lack of stars is a clear indication of a hoax, suggesting that the photos were taken in a studio where the backdrop was simply forgotten or omitted. This argument has been a cornerstone for many skeptics who question the authenticity of the moon landings. However, this argument ignores the limitations of photography and the unique lighting conditions on the moon. The lunar surface, reflecting bright sunlight, created a very high contrast environment. The brightness of the lunar surface and the astronauts' white suits meant that the camera settings had to be adjusted to capture these details properly. The intense sunlight on the moon's surface required photographers to use fast shutter speeds and small apertures. These settings are crucial for preventing overexposure of the bright lunar landscape and the astronaut suits. To capture a well-exposed image of the astronauts and lunar landscape, photographers had to use fast shutter speeds and small apertures. These settings, while ideal for the bright foreground, made it impossible to capture the faint light of stars in the background. The stars, being much dimmer than the sunlit surface, simply didn't register on the film. This is a common issue in photography, not just on the moon. Even on Earth, when taking photos in bright daylight, stars are not visible. The camera's exposure settings are adjusted to capture the details of the scene in the foreground, which often results in the stars being too faint to appear in the image. So the absence of stars in the moon landing photos is not evidence of a hoax, but rather a testament to the challenging conditions of lunar photography. Section 5. A flag's tale unraveling the waving mystery. The image of the American flag seemingly waving in the wind on the moon has fueled countless conspiracy theories. After all, there is no air on the moon to create wind. The answer lies in the design of the flag itself. A telescopic pole was extended along the top edge of the flag to make it fly proudly. This pole, along with the wrinkles from the flag being folded during the journey, created the illusion of a waving flag. In the vacuum of space, these wrinkles remained, further contributing to the effect. Section 6. Beyond Apollo, the changing landscape of space exploration. Some people question why we haven't returned to the moon since the Apollo missions. This question often stems from a misunderstanding of the motivations and challenges of space exploration. The Apollo program was driven by the Cold War space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. After achieving the goal of landing humans on the moon, priorities shifted. Funding for NASA decreased, and the focus turned to other projects, such as the Space Shuttle program and the International Space Station. Section 7. Footprints in the lunar dust, evidence from orbit. Despite the lack of recent manned missions, evidence of the Apollo landings remains. In 2009, NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, or LRO, captured high-resolution images of the Apollo landing sites. These images clearly show the descent stages of the lunar modules, scientific instruments left behind, and even the tracks made by the lunar rovers. These images provide undeniable proof that humans did indeed walk on the moon. Section 8. The enduring allure of conspiracy theories. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, moon landing conspiracy theories persist. This persistence speaks to a broader phenomenon in our information-saturated age. Conspiracy theories often thrive in environments where trust in institutions is low and misinformation spreads rapidly. The internet, while a powerful tool for knowledge sharing, has also facilitated the spread of unfounded claims and conspiracy theories. Section 9. Critical thinking, our greatest tool against misinformation. In an era of information overload, critical thinking is more important than ever. When evaluating any claim, especially extraordinary ones, it's crucial to demand evidence. We must scrutinize the source of the information, consider potential biases, and seek out corroborating evidence from reputable sources. Scientific literacy, the ability to understand and evaluate scientific concepts, is also essential. By fostering a society that values critical thinking and scientific literacy, we can better navigate the complexities of the digital age and avoid falling prey to misinformation.